I first want to begin talking about Lorenzo and his program. To have what potentially is probably a lottery pick not available to play, and to play in a rival game that finally puts the type of energy in a building that it feels like some of the other programs in this conference. And for the way they battled, Crisp gets injured, comes back in the game, Dickerson goes down, and they're right in the game. And they did it by attacking us on the glass. The second chance points, I thought they were outstanding at exploiting us when Connor went out of the game. So to their credit, that they made it a typical rival game again. It doesn't matter what the records are or anything. They battle, and that's a credit to the character. I say it again, the character that's in that program with Lorenzo right down through that staff. You know, he knows what he's doing, and I thought they battled their tail off. I thought my guys, Deontay Daniels, Robert Franks, and Malachi, I talked to them about not letting these seniors lose their last game, and I thought they were really important and did a great job of just being solid in the game. And Malachi hits the big bucket. But this game was about the seniors. Charles Callis and Connor Clifford, who's only been in here with us for 2 years, they play like 4-year veterans out on the floor. How smart they played. Charles played a terrific game. Connor did until he got in foul trouble. Start the game, he was awesome. He took it over for a stretch. Charles took it over for a stretch. Josh took it over for a stretch, and Ike took it over for a stretch. So I can't say enough about those two. And then Ike and Josh, to be here for 4 years and not have a winning program, but to move. They move the needle in the program. It just feels right. It's headed in a positive directions. Recruits are calling us. Coaches are looking at us. They see kids being coached. They see kids graduating. That's a tribute to their leadership, their stick-to-itiveness, that they've stayed in this program and battle. And I've said it once, and I'll say it again, in the 3 years that I've been here, and I honestly mean this, there's not been one single day where Ike and Josh have not come with that smile on their face and come to battle and come to work hard in practice. They're an outstanding foundation for where we want to take this program.
As a coach, how much more gratifying is it to be able to have that moment where you pull them for the last time and can give them an ovation and sort of end on that note?
You know, you couldn't script it any better. I don't think. Well, yeah, we could. I probably wouldn't have put Nels Hawkinson out there to dance with the guys. I don't know where that came from, but that would be the only thing I'd probably X out of the script. But I thought the guys responded well with all. It's very difficult to play in a senior's last game with all the hype and all the emotion. You got to hold back tears and emotion and feelings, and that takes place the last couple of days and deal with so many family members being here. And then to get to the game and in a rival game also on senior day, it's even more difficult. But you couldn't script it better to those 4 seniors to play that well in front of their parents, in front of the students. And the students come out and then be able to take them off the floor. And it wasn't until the last closing seconds, tribute to Washington, that you were able to do that. But to see them kiss that floor, that was genuine. Those guys love their experience here. This school is an outstanding school. I continue to tell George Raveler every chance I get, if he had recruited me harder, I would have went to school here, because it's an unbelievable school. And I thought those 3 guys, along with Connor, their experiences here are so rewarding. That was a big reward for them to be able to leave that floor as winners in front of those students and do it over your rival school.
Not Malachi's most productive game, but another big shot over the Huskies.
You know, he battled hard in the game, and maybe early on, again, the emotion of the game got to him a little bit because we were battling hard, and I thought, again, he calmed down as the game went on, and there was no doubt in my mind at some point in time he was going to make a play down the stretch. That's his leadership. That's what he's meant to our program.
Some of the players were mentioning that when they're coming out of the Seattle area and they're coming out on the Palouse, they kind of have a chip on the shoulder every time they play UW. Is that something that you've been able to see?
Well, I think part of that is players feel like, again, that, here was Josh, really not highly recruited by anyone. And you're not going to find very many players in the country that has the numbers that he has the last couple of years. And that's the chip, I think, to prove his worth. Malachi, not recruited by any high major school but us. And that's the chip on his shoulder to prove his worth. Same thing with Viante Daniels. Those guys are player of the years out of the state of Washington, Viante and Malachi. Just look at the history of the player of the years out of this conference and what they've done. Aaron Brooks, Luke Rittenauer, look how good those players have been. And here they sit in our program. But in saying that, this program needs to get to the point that is not a chip on their shoulders because they felt slighted. It's a chip on their shoulders because they're so proud to be over here at this school. And that's where we're headed to, because that group that's coming back, they have an opportunity to really, really do something special here, because they're tremendous in the classroom, they're tremendous on the floor, and they have tremendous character as well, too, very similar to what's going out of that door.
How important was it for you to see that emotion at the end of the game with the crowd and thank the students for coming out and supporting the team this last month?
As a leader, and it's difficult sometimes that other people may not see your vision, in particular when you have a program that is in a rebuilding, coming of age, coming back, whatever you want to call it, mode. You have a lot of people on the peripheral that has their thoughts and their feelings about the program. And as a leader, you have to block all of that out. You don't even pay attention to that, because whether you believe me or not, whether the people in this community believe me or not, we are recruiting and we're coaching this program that, in my heart of hearts, and I had the same conversation at Oregon, one day that Pac-12 championship will come through Pullman. The key is the students. Bennett did it with the students. Bramlin did it with the students. Sampson did it with the students. If we can get the students to believe in us, that arena was no different than Colorado in the last 7 minutes, Arizona in the last 7 minutes, Oregon in the last 7 minutes, UW, Utah. Everybody has that it. And when that energy rises up, we're able to go on that run. We don't do that if that energy is not in the building. So you've got some very entertaining guards in this program. From Malachi, nobody's seen Milan yet, and he's unguardable for us in practice. Hoping that continues when he starts playing. And what's coming in the door with Quentin, we have an opportunity that if we can get the bigs we're looking for, that it doesn't stop. But we need the students to bring that to fruition, that championship comes through here. That building needs to be on fire like that for every game. And that's the key. So we'll continue to do our part, and I'll preach, teach, go to fraternities, go to sororities, do what I need to do to get people back. But we need the students in that building.
Coach, you talked about the run you went on. 5.5 minutes left, you were down by 4, and then you went on the run to get the lead and never gave it back. What were you stressing to your team in the dead ball of the media timeouts in the midst of that run? Defense,
defense, defense. I think we've had probably 5 or 6 games where we've gone on those runs, and people look at the scoring. Malachi did it over there in Seattle. We did it in some games here with Colorado. We did it in a game here on the road, I would say, Utah, even though we lost the game. We did it with Arizona State. But it isn't so much the offense, it's the defense. When the defense clamps down and you can lock teams up, it gives us a chance to get out and run. And when we get out and run, we become a very dangerous team as opposed to having to sit in the half court. So what we were stressing was the offense is bogged down if it just sits in the half court because of their shot blockers. If we can get stops, it allows us to get into transition, and now you can go more attack mode. So we just preach defense. Focus on getting stops. And more importantly, we were getting them to miss, but they were pounding us on the glass. 18, I think, second chance points. As soon as we took care of the rebounding piece, now you could get out and run them, and that's the thing that turned the game for us, is being able to get stops and rebound the ball.
Coach, what type of legacy did your seniors leave on the court today that maybe the young ones can take with them?
I think the biggest thing they left on the floor to me is what they did at the end when they kissed that floor. I always tell the players here, the thing that's most important to me is that they are the best students they can possibly be and graduate from this institution and value your education with their $1 trillion worth of debt that college students are having to pay back when they get out of school. You have a free education. Value that. Value the trips overseas. Value the tournaments. But more importantly, when those guys went to that floor and kissed that floor, love your school and love your experience here. Those guys flat out loved it here. Josh Hawkinson just loved it. He wasn't going anywhere. Even though he had some people coming after him, he stayed true to his school. So their legacy to me is that they're just true Cougs, that they stayed even through the tough times. they stayed, and they stayed true to me, true to this school, and true to the program.
Coach, how does a guy in a basketball program go out and get an MBA in 3 years, too? How does that happen?
You know, my second Elite Eight team at Oregon, when we threw up the jump ball to start conference play, 3 of the 5 starters had their degree in hand, already working on their masters. All 5 graduated early. And with the availability of summer school and kind of year-round programs, if you really understand summer school, and we sell this in the home about if you can just give me 3 years, we'll graduate you in 3 years because we utilize summer school and we're so academically oriented in everything we do. And for Josh to be able to graduate and then get his master's, that's impressive. I've had some players that have graduated and working on their master's that last year while they played. But for somebody to actually get it, he's going to get his master's degree. That's the legacy that they leave, the importance of the basketball, but also the importance of the academic piece. And I've got 5 freshmen right now that are all on track. All of those red shirts get their master's degree, all of them, because they are smart enough in the classroom. None of them have dropped below a 3.0. They're excellent students in the classroom. So we have things moving in the right direction. The piece that's missing for us right now is to bring that energy back, and we've got 3 recruits we need to pick up. Before we even get to that, we have the LA schools coming up. So my voice is shot. I think the Hawkinsons want me to do a little bit more for them today. I might send you, Jessica, to do that one. But thank you, and go Cougs. Thank you guys hanging in there with us.